All right, man. Today we got Tommy Reamon Jr. in the building. What's going on with you?
It's good, bro. Happy to be here.
Hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, to get with me to this interview. But, let's start from the beginning, man. Where you from?
From Newport, Virginia. I was born uptown, but I was raised downtown on 22nd and Oak.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. So, like, the last name Reamon is a popular name in this city. Like, just give a little bit of background on, your family.
Yeah, so I got to give credit to Pops. Pops did his thing to set up a platform for me to come in the game. And, with the name, he got a football background. He played way back in the day, and then for my entire life, he was a coach. And he had Aaron Brooks and Michael Vick, along with a bunch of other guys. But, he's been coaching for 35 plus years.
Okay.
So he's just a staple in the community when it comes to, helping kids, chase a dream and get where they want to go.
Okay, so you say he played, what level did he get to?
He played in the pros. He got drafted by the Steelers, did a stint with Kansas City, and then a small stint with the Washington Redskins. And then he also played in another professional league called the World Football League. It only lasted 2 years, but he was two-time MVP of that league. So.
Say the name of it again. The World what?
The World Football League, the WFL.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research on that.
My football heads, do some research. He played for the Florida Blazers, and it was based out of Orlando. And he actually, the year he got drafted by the Steelers, the league was in the lockout. So he was like, when all the vets come back, they gonna cut him. So he turned them down to go to the WFL. So he went to the WFL and he was the MVP. But that same year, the Steelers won the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like, nah, man, you could have a Super Bowl ring, but you did make a name for yourself being the MVP of this league. So
that's a crazy story, right there.
It is.
So I heard you say you was born uptown, raised downtown. So like, how was it coming up? Was you like going back and forth, or was you just mostly downtown?
So a single parent household. When my parents got divorced, my dad took custody. And with him being a coach and a teacher, he needed some help. So it was off to my grandma's crib I went. So from 6 a.m. to about 9 at night, I was downtown. So I went to Magruder, I went to Huntington, I played for Doris Miller, I was at the Boys and Girls Club every day. So so I feel like really my roots come from both ends.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Cause like, out here, you got it's like a quiet rivalry.
Yeah, it's like either or.
Downtown.
And with the brand, I hear it all the time. Like, you come in, they see uptown, they like, we're downtown. They see downtown, it's like, we're uptown. Yeah. And it's like, you got to be from one or the other. It can't be both, this, that, and the third. But, I proudly claim, I like both. So I'm like, man, It's the city for me. It's Newport News, it's Badnewz. It's all good, so.
Right, yeah, because I'm from uptown, but once I start venturing downtown, like, I liked it down there. Like, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's completely different. Yeah. Like, the way people is, just the way the structure of the city is set up down there for us up here. It's like two different worlds in the same city.
It definitely is.
It's good not to be, closed-minded, travel up and downtown, meet people, network. Yeah. It'll open up the city for you.
Good people on both ends, but
right.
Definitely two different lifestyles and demographics.
So coming up, seeing your dad playing football and everything, and coaching football, like, what did you want to be as a kid? Like,
a football player, quarterback.
Quarterback?
Yeah, I wanted to be Michael Vick. It was no questions about that. My first year playing football, I wore number 7. And, literally, like, that's big bro. So I idolized him, and I wanted to be just like him on the field. So.
Okay. And what was like some of the jobs you had coming up? Like, the more.
Yeah, like I really ain't have too many. Like, once I got to high school and I was old enough to work, I was so committed on football that I ain't really had the time to kind of, take a part-time job here and there. So we was working out all summer. And like, I ain't had crazy money, but Pops kept a couple dollars in my pocket, so that was enough for me to, put gas in the car and kind of, just move that way. So I actually didn't even get my first job till I got to college. I worked at the gym on campus. I was a facility tech, walking around cleaning stuff, moving weights and all that good stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I was married to the game early on. I was just trying to get that scholarship, so I was locked in.
And what was the college you went to?
Old Dominion. I went to ODU, and after I graduated, I went to UVA and started my master's. And that's when I started coaching as a grad assistant coach.
Okay, you started coaching in college?
Mm-hmm. So the way coaching works, like the entry level is called grad assistant. So basically they pay for you to get your master's while you start coaching, but you at the bottom of the totem pole, and you don't get paid. You get paid pennies, but instead they pay for your school. So that's kind of like the trade-off of like how you really get in the college game.
Oh, that's
coaching.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? You said you ain't had too many jobs coming up. Went to college, started coaching. So, like, when were you really introduced to entrepreneurship? Like,
I always had a side of me that was entrepreneurial. Whether that, like we spoke about in high school, making videos and DVDs, making music, off the computer, recording right into the mic, and playing the beat. So I always had those traits, and then it really started my senior year in college is when I made my first t-shirt. But at the time, I had no vision of a business or anything. I was just making shirts to match some shoes that I had. I'm like, I ain't got no shirt to match my J's. Maybe I can make one. Went on the website and designed a shirt. It was just my initials, a TR logo. And if you look at that wall, like my old pictures up there back from 2012, it still got the TR logo up there. And that kind of, that got going, and that's what led into the city on my chest. And so around 2014 is when I kind of really dove into entrepreneurship of trying to sell stuff.
All right, so let me go back a little bit. So you said you was doing the rap thing, and you was making the DVDs in college. Did you ever do that, or was that just for fun?
Just
or was
for
that
fun.
something?
Yeah, just for fun.
Okay.
Like, I still rap to this day, but I'm not out here trying to be a rapper. I just enjoy it. Yeah.
You ain't in everybody's face like, I got the CD, taking donations.
Like for City Fest, I dropped a little freestyle.
Okay.
But yeah, I just enjoy doing it. I just enjoy creating, whether that's video or audio. I just enjoy it. So
being creative.
Yeah.
You had any other businesses before this, like official businesses?
Nah, this was it. It was actually, the City on My Chest was a two-part thing. Back in 2014, business took off so quick. I'm like, I got to get my paperwork, this, that, and the third. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, so I went on LegalZoom and just tried to figure it out. And like, to this day, I feel like they probably was ripping me off because I ain't know no better. I was just saying, I think I need this, I think I need that. So they're like, all right, that's $1,500. Well, all right, that's $1,000. Oh, that's $500. And I'm just throwing them the money, not even knowing, because I want educated.
So just getting like trademarks, copyrights for every little thing.
Yeah, but it was probably some things that, I didn't really need, or some things that I did need that I didn't get.
But it sounds good when you're doing it, so it make you feel good when you're like, I got a copyright for this, I got a trademark
like business
for this.
taking off. I'm like, oh, this joint blowing up. I don't want nobody to take it. And really, it's definitely, it's a lengthy process of learning. But a lot of times, I always tell people to, get the paperwork done. But it really ain't always as urgent as it may seem in the early stages, if that, makes sense.
Right.
I tell people all the time before, they're like, oh, I'm about to create a brand, but I want to do this, that, and the third. I want to copyright it, trademark, all that. I'm like, prove that it sells first. You know what I mean? Get some social proof that, this is something people want before you drop a lot of money to protect it and you don't do nothing with it. Or a lot of people just lose interest. Like, they say they want to do this, and then a year later it's kind of like, nah, I'm good on it. I don't really want to do this no more. And then you like $1,500 out the pocket. Yeah,
I'm about to say, a lot of people change businesses once or twice, so this is good that this is your first business and you got it going how it's going. So I'm gonna ask you now, like, you got the City on My Chest, you went Patrick Henry Mall. How important is the location for you?
Location is everything. Being in the mall, it's always high traffic. Let alone the mall, I'm in the food court. So some days the mall could be completely empty, but Chick-fil-A got, 20, 30 people over there waiting on food. So they sitting there waiting, then they look over like, what's City on My Chest? Or they seen it before, didn't know what it was, and now it's like, oh, that's the logo I've been seeing on social media, and they come on over. So I always recommend, like, if you're gonna open up a store, because brick and mortars are dying down. So if you want to take that route, try to get somewhere with high traffic. Because if you got a store by itself outside, that's hard to generate, foot traffic every day. You got to really be up on your ads and trying to, capture how can I get people through these doors. versus us. People just walk past some days and just fall in. So
yeah, you definitely got a good location right here. Yeah. So do you got like a story on how you came up with the name, or it just popped up in your head one day?
Yeah. So we was actually, me and the homies, we selling shirts, making shirts, but we had no name for it. Literally, we was just putting like different cities on the t-shirts, and I'm so Newport News, I'm so Hampton, I'm so Virginia Beach, and we didn't have a name. And then finally, I'm like, yo, we gotta think of a name. And so like we was on, I think it was like 4 of us on the phone, all thinking. And then like I think somebody literally was like trying to say like city on my chest, like thinking about actually what the shirt is, like city on my chest, city on my chest. And that's when the light bulb went off. I was like, city on my chest. And I'm like, that's kind of different. It's kind of like, you know, that's not a name you hear just the typical brand. Right. So I'm like, I was a fan of that because, you know, so many people have a name and it's kind of just, you know, got a lot of, you know, words that's popular, that's trending. I'm like, city on my chest, kind of like, that's different. So every day people walk past and I hear them read out the sign and I can just kind of hear like, yo, what's this all about? So I definitely like the fact that the name is kind of, you know, different from the average, just typical brand that's out here. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then even the logo, it took us a while to come up with that logo. I was still putting my initials on shirts just to brand it because I didn't want people to, you know, see a shirt or somebody else to do it and then steal the idea. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put my logo, my initials on all my shirts. So if you see it, you know that's my shirt. And then from there, you know, I paid somebody to come up with some different designs. So he sent me like 10 logos, and the C was one of them. But I actually overlooked it like for months.
It's a basic but catchy logo. Yeah. You know, it's like the dot.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense. It's a C, but it's also a location pen. So when you really know, when you tap into the brand, you like, okay, you know, I really love the logo, and it's sleek, it's slick.
Yep.
You know, when you think of my whole thing, I'm like, I think of Adidas, Nike, and Reebok. You know, those are some simple logos. You know, clean, and ain't a whole lot, you know, going on. And a lot of people now, and there's nothing wrong with it, when their logo for their merch kind of be like maybe their first design they made for a t-shirt. And it's a difference between brand logo and a t-shirt logo. And I think a lot of people, you know, use that t-shirt logo and just use that as the brand versus, you know, finding a simple logo that can just be, you know, I think it's iconic to catch the eye, very simple, versus having, you know, so much going on with the colors and things like that. So, but to each his own, you know, but I'm very pleased, you know, with that logo. And I think, you know, one day it'll go down as like, you know, up there with the big boys like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, city on my chest. So
hey, it's all about consistency, man. Thanks. They're what, 50-year-old companies?
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself 50 years.
Thanks. And I think
you get there before that, but I'm just saying, like, I used to always think short. Like, if I can't get it done in a year, then okay, I need to jump to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I just be telling people now that I'm older, like, yo, think long term.
It take time.
It take time.
Like, I started this in 2012. Here we are in 2021. And I always hear Gary Vee say it takes 10 years to build a brand. So, like, people really don't want to hear that because, like you said, they want that. They want it to pop off. They want money right now. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, if you start something right now, it's like 10 years from now, if you stay consistent, you'll have something. But people don't really want to hear that. So
yeah, I want to get off subject for just 1 second. I seen about the Squid Game on Netflix. Like,
he got turned down by all these people. And here this thing is the biggest. I still ain't seen it, but he got Netflix going crazy over, and it was like, yo, he got turned down by everybody in Hollywood. This, that, and the third.
I think for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I think he even had to sell his computer that he wrote it on and all that to pay his rent. Yeah. I was like, I would have been gave up 10 years. I'm failing. Like, I know I got a gold mine right here, but nobody wants to buy it. So like, you can't really, I used to think, like, you can't fight against what people want. Like, you know you got something good, but you can't force it down their throat. You gotta wait till they're ready. Yeah. That was one of those situations, and I think a lot of people get in those situations and they'll be like me, like, I'm not waiting 10 years. Like, I'll change gears. Yeah. But the people that wait, they get rewarded.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you gotta have that gauge. Like, if you truly feel in your heart that this gonna go, stay with it.
Yep.
But it's like And then it's also a time where you got to realize that, okay, this might not be it. Let me change up. So who's the judge other than yourself? So you just got to kind of trust what you feel. And he felt like it was gold, and he stuck with it, and it worked out. So
yep, got people still trying to push inventions from 1980 that still ain't on. They probably never will work, but they believe it
if
that
you
much.
believe in it, like, who am I to tell somebody to stop when they feel like bruh, this joint gonna change the world? I'm like, shit, keep going then, dog. Like, know what I mean? I ain't gonna tell you to stop. But if in your heart you realize, like, all right, this ain't it, it's time for something else. You got bills to pay, families to feed. It might be time to switch it up. And a lot of people who switch up then go on to find,
they would have kept going.
Yeah. Or find out if they would have kept going, maybe, or they go on to finding something that do work. A lot of people business be like, oh, like you asked me, oh, before this business I did this and it failed. So then, I changed lanes. I'm doing this now, and boom. So you never know. You just gotta follow your gut.
Yeah,
just gotta follow your gut.
Yeah, exactly. So let me backtrack it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about what you was doing like right before this. And what was the transition? Like, when did you know that you didn't want to work for nobody else anymore?
Yeah, so I was coaching from 2012 to 2018, and from like 2012, 13, and 14, I was doing this on the side, like a side hustle.
Okay.
And then
like, who was you coaching for?
I was at the University of Virginia, UVA. I was at UVA.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity to get a job with the Miami Dolphins. And I ain't get it, and one of the reasons I found out, it was like, oh, we feel like, he's not trying to be, a football coach. He wants to be an entrepreneur, and football is a business where you can't really do both. Like, they don't play about that. It's like you all in. Like,
so they checked your background, and it was like,
they
you had the qualities they wanted, but they just felt like you wasn't.
They
type
in Google my name, and all this city on my chest stuff pop up, and they kind of like, nah, he got other stuff going on. And really, when it comes to football, you got to be like dialed in. Like, you got to eat, sleep, and breathe football. Okay. So I ain't get the job, and I really wanted it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the shirts for now. Like, I want to be a football coach. That's the career I'm choosing. I'm like, the shirt stuff in the way, because it stopped me from getting the job that I want. So I put it on the back burner literally for like 2-3 years. And
did you enjoy coaching though?
I did early on, and then like you realize what that grind is like, 100-hour weeks, moving from city to city, no job security. You could be here 1 year. It's like, it's a roller coaster ride. So I mean, it's beautiful. If you make it high enough, the pay is great, but it's like an unstable lifestyle, and like it's zero job security. Like if we go, it's 10 games. If we go 4-6, and they're like, yo, we got to make some changes. You could be out just off. We got to make changes around here, and so you to change. And now
you be your fault.
Yeah, like your guys could have been playing pretty good, but it's a buddy system too. Okay. So like, if I'm the head coach and those 4 guys my mans, and we need to change, they not leaving. My pool really just did 6 for real. Like one of y'all 6 number. So that's kind of how coaching is. And I'm like, yo, I ain't want to wake up. And I was just about to turn, I was 29, coming up on 30, and I was like, I don't want to wake up 5-10 years and kind of be in the same spot, entry level, place to place. I ain't bought a house yet because I don't. So I said, you know what? My last one, when I was with the Saints and I got let go, and I came back home, like for real, it was like a burden lifted off of me. I felt free to finally like, okay, I can do what I want now. And that's when I made the decision to, get back on the brand full time, and like, I ain't working for nobody else. So
that's right. So starting this business, if you was talking to somebody else that's coming up, like how much would you say, like just to get started, not necessarily have the location, but just to get started selling clothing, because you got a whole clothing line. You don't just do t-shirts, you don't just do hats, you got an official clothing line. How much would you tell somebody they need to put aside to start a clothing line?
I would say you almost got to work up to the clothing line. Like if t-shirts your thing, start with the t-shirts. And like what I did, I was drop shipping. So basically, I won't making a shirt until somebody paid me for it. So therefore, I ain't have to load up on inventory. And I was doing it originally off a website. So I was basically middleman. So you pay me $20 for a shirt, I go on the website, design it, charge you shipping, even though the shipping was free from the website. So now you gave me 25, and I send it straight from the website to you. So the shirt cost me 15, I charge you 25, so that's a $10 profit. But I ain't even had to touch the shirt. Right. So it was kind of like, it was a gift and a curse, but it allowed me to get in the game without having any kind of overhead. So I did that for years before I started. The first time I bulked up on some shirts was when I came home from New Orleans. So that's it. I was drop shipping for 6 years before I like bought 500 shirts to sell, you know, on the street. So that would be my advice. And then from there, you know, you generate some capital. Now you can start expanding to, you know, hats or hoodies now. So I think drop shipping is the way to go for anybody to get in the game.
So you giving out some free game right here.
Free game right there.
Yeah, so basically all you need to start is a computer.
Computer and an idea.
That's
Somebody saying I want that shirt, bet. And it's like, if you got some money, you can load up and keep a couple on you. But truly, I had no shirts on me, like none. Everything I did was just straight off that website and sent it straight to the customer. So
that's fine. So you can start with a computer, and if you creative, you can make your own design, or if you have a couple dollars, you can pay for a design, and that can get you going right there.
Get you in the game.
So do you feel like it's like you said you was going to these bigger cities, do you feel like it's a difference? I know you wasn't trying to sell clothes there, but you feel like it's a difference, like strategy-wise, to how you would have to sell clothes in a big city versus a small city? Like,
yeah, I think, you know, in a smaller city like Newport News, Hampton, you know, it's close niche, and you know people, and it's kind of easier to get in the mix versus, you know, big cities. Like, it's a lot going on. It's probably harder to get in the mix. You know, you got the people with the money. They ain't letting everybody into their circle.
Right.
So it's kind of just, you know, you just got to start and do anything you can to try to get it on somebody that can change your circle now. Like, know what I mean? Like, I always said when I was in Miami, I really wasn't selling shirts. But if I was still in that mindset that, like, if I was in the game right now, what would I do? And for me, when I go to the club, I'm looking at the DJs. I'm like, yo, everybody love the DJ. He got a voice, he visible. I'm like, yo, I find out where the DJ from, and I ain't even gonna charge him. I'm gonna come like, bro, where you from? He gonna say, I'm from Atlanta. Yeah. I said, yo, I got something for you. I said, I make shirts, but I got something for you. I would show up like a couple shirts, couple different colors. I'm like, bro, this my brand city on my chest. It's love. Boom. If your joint dope, they gonna rock with it, and now you in the game. Know what I mean? He throw it on. Now he like, yo, you see me in Atlanta, this, that, and the third, city on my chest. And like, some people, you know, show more love than others, but you got to get in the game by getting it on somebody that can kind of give you some, you know, some clout, some status. And it's sad, but that's just the way it is. Yeah. Like, you can sell, but until you start, you know, really getting it on people, it's no different what commercials do. Why Michael Jordan and Hanes, or you know, the companies that, you know, LeBron represent. It's like, it's the same thing. And you can't get LeBron or Jordan, but you need to start with somebody that kind of got, you know, a following to see like, oh, if he wear it, maybe that shirt is kind of cool. Because all we doing is tricking the mind. Right. That's all we really doing. So
yeah, so I like to say, like, you know, they got the saying sex sells, but so does popularity. Yeah. So it's like a lot of people complain around this area, like, oh, it's just a popularity contest. Yeah. And that's not nothing to cry about. Just figure out a way to get yourself popular. You can like, build a name. Like, when you hear certain people's names, like, oh, you talk about the t-shirt dude, oh, you talk about the barber. Yeah. Like, you build your own name. Yeah. You don't have to, there's nothing to complain about.
And it's like, to be honest, before you really be able to sell a brand, you gotta kind of generate a personal brand for yourself. Because people don't truly buy directly into the brand. They buy into kind of who you are. Right. So for me, sports was my thing. So I'm no fool to know that, oh, Tommy Reamon, who coached in the NFL, or did this, that, and the third, or, you know, his pops coach Vic, and, you know, Vic, one of his homies, that play a part. And I lucked up. You know what I mean? I was blessed to have some pieces that worked in my favor. But I'm like, yo, it's still some things I had to do to kind of get, like, those alone ain't get me where I'm at. I had to kind of get it on I used that to get it on John Wall, to get it on Ocho Cinco, to get it on these other guys, which kind of created the brand. So whether you start there or you start in ground zero, like you said, whether it's a barber's got a lot of people know barbers. Go to your barber and like, yo, bro, this is my brand. Can you rock it in the shop? This, that, and the third. It's like you got to start, and then from there, yeah, you got to get eyes on it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and people just don't want to. That's a lot of work. You know what I mean? And people just want that instant, gratification. This my brand, and it blow up, and they're like, nah, it don't work like that.
Exactly. And then like with your name sitting on the chest, when I first heard it, and I seen you had like a sports background, I thought it was like a flip from I put the city on my back.
Yeah.
I put the team on my back.
Yeah.
It was a flip, like I put the city on my chest.
It's funny because like that's putting the city on my back is such a common, saying. And really, it was like when I created it, I really wasn't even thinking about that. I was literally just thinking about what it was, looking down and seeing Newport News. It's like, yo, city on my chest. And I always say I'll be rapping, so I started thinking like ways to spin it. Like, because I've heard people talking about, I carry the city on my shoulders like some shoulder pads. So in my head, I'm like, I put the city on my chest and hit a front squat. So if you really into sports, you like, front squat, you got the weight kind of right here. So I'm like, just thinking of different ways to kind of spin it and stuff like that. But, literally, I was just making the name off exactly what it was. I looked down and I'm like, Newport News, Virginia, that's city on my chest.
Okay. All right, so I know you said you started off with drop shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you do wholesale? Do you press up all your own pieces? Or do you mix?
I do a little bit of everything. So my customs I still do by myself.
Okay.
But even before I even get into that, when I bought my equipment, I had my vinyl cutter and still do my press. I was literally doing all shirts by hand. And if anybody in the shirt game, you know what it can be like, the vinyl stuff. And imagine doing that thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So I wanted to I was like, yo, I'm trying to keep all profits instead of going to my local. And nobody wants to do a one-on-one shirt. I can't go to the shirt man around the corner and say, yo, do one shirt. You're like, nah, I need 12. Like if you wanted a 30-second and, chestnut shirt,
yep,
you got to do it on your own. So that's where I was in the crib, doing it myself. And then finally, when I got to the point of like, okay, this design sells, I go to my local shirt guy and do it, in bulk, get 50 shirts made and sell it there. But I had to figure out what designs was a hit versus, what designs people really want rocking with.
Okay. So like, what's some other time savers as you grow in your business? Like, what's some of your things, like some time savers, like what's some of the jobs you delegate to others? Like, I see you got a store, so is this
so even with the custom orders of doing vinyl now, I make my employees do it. I'm like, yo, I laugh about it now, but I'm like, yo, I done did this until my fingers went numb. So when I get a custom order, I cut it, I draw it up and bring it to them, and I let those guys weed it out. So that's always still a good feeling because I did it for so many years by myself. And then just day-to-day store operations. Like, there's no way I could do this by myself. Like, it's a lot that goes into, a store, especially when you don't have a manufacturer that's making all your stuff in the same place and they come in tagged up, ready to go. Like, we get shirts, ain't none of these tags up there, and everything in here might come from a different place. So now it's like, literally, it's like one day when I got my own warehouse and manufacturer, everything that can come to the store be boxed up, ready to go. Open it up, hang it up. But for now, it's like we still got to embroider the C's. We still got to put, the C's on damn near everything in here. So it's a few things that come already made, but
you're still mailing everything yourself too?
Yeah, I'm still, to the post office. People like, yo, you can get them to come to here, or they can come to the crib to get it. I still like going to the post office just for the interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes you're just a sucker of the process.
Yeah, I've been doing it for so long. And then so many times a conversation start when I come in. It'd be like somebody seen me like 3-4 times and they speak like, yo, you got a brand or something? And then boom, yes I do. City on my chest, located in Patrick Henry Mall. We represent, you know what I mean? So you gain a new customer that way. So, a part of me has, elevated in some way, and some parts of me is still like ground zero every day to the post office and send stuff off.
Okay. And what's some of like have your own business? I know you said you couldn't do it by yourself. I see a lot of people that have businesses like this and they'll try to do everything themselves.
Yeah.
And it'll either burn them out or burn the business out.
Yeah, it's hard because it takes money to, hire employees and get help.
People want to keep all the money, and it's like, you can't grow that way.
For the longest, I did everything for myself, and it's only so high you're gonna reach a ceiling, and then it comes like it comes a day where you got to have a talk with yourself and be like, yo, for me to get to a new level, I'm gonna make less money because I gotta, I gotta pay for this to get, to get it done. I gotta pay for this to get help. So it's like, it's all a gift and a curse of growing and scaling a business.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta take, a step back to bring people in to get you to that next level.
And you think competition is a factor for you? Like you feel like you compete, not necessarily with local brands, like you said, you want to be up there with Nike and Adidas. Yeah. So do you feel like it's like competition a fact? Like you think about your competition, or do you just do what you're doing?
I just do me, because I'm a firm believer in who I am. It is some local brands around here that I see and I respect, but I still don't look at them as us kind of even in the same lane. And that's not being disrespectful. It's like they doing them, right, and I'm just focused on, doing me. In the background, the city on my chest is empowering the community. So the whole clothes piece is one thing, but I'm really out here trying to help people change lives. Yeah. I'm trying to work with the kids. I'm trying to be that positive male Black role model that some kids may not have. So for me, it's way deeper than just, a t-shirt and a brand. It's like, if we gonna compete, let's compete on who can help the most kids. That's the type of time I'm on. Like, yo, that's really like, when it comes to this stuff, I mean, it's materialistic, it's cool. But like, yo, when I go out and a kid run up to me and was like, yo, I want a brand, I want to be just like you, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's fire, man. Vision is everything. Cause like sometimes you can start something, but if you don't have a vision, you don't have a direction of where you're taking it, or where it's going. It can just go anywhere on its own and get out of control. Yeah,
and I know it's cliche to say like, oh, compare your brand to Nike, but that's where I'm at with it. I really think like Nike, we on your heels, and we love Nike, you know what I mean? But it's like, yo, they've been at the top for so long. I think it's time for a fresh face.
Yeah, and I can see it. It's called what's Nike called? Athleisure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically what you got here. So you're in the same field.
And then with my network to get professional athletes, I'm like, yo, Nike got great quality, but they're also known because certain athletes gonna rock. Yeah. I came in the game grabbing certain NFL and NBA guys. I'm like, yo, I ain't Nike, but shit, like we coming. Like you guys got KD. I'm talking to KD about sending him a shirt. It's like something like I was from KD to Steph Curry to Kevin Hart. It's like guys that I communicated with to send the shirt. They got it, never wore it, but it's just like our time's gonna come because I'm already in I'm in the ears of the big boys out here, and they rocking with the brand. Like, yeah, send me that. So I'm like, it's only a matter of time before we really submerge out here, and
So you're working with athletes at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
So you looking for any local level athletes, to put in it so they can have their name alongside some of the top names.
Yeah.
Like,
so
when you come up, you need to be making the right place and get sitting in your chest.
I start right here in my community, like, with the high school. Like I'm all through the high schools. Like if you go to a high school game, you're gonna see my football towels flying everywhere, and like I think times have changed as far as like that big name endorsing your brand is cool. But like we got local with social media, we got local influencers now that can be just as pivotal to your brand as getting somebody big. If like you said, if the barber over here got 20,000 followers and everybody know that's the barber and he be fly, him rocking your shirt does more than somebody that can play in the NFL wearing your shirt. Like that's cool, but as far as like in the community base, like your whole community see this guy. They see you walking around, oh, we want that shirt versus, that guy got a lot of followers, but some of his followers may be on the West Coast and they don't care what we got going on.
Right, exactly.
So you kind of just got to start where you at.
Okay. And let's talk a little bit about City Fest. Like, what was the process putting that together, and the vision and everything about that?
City Fest started as a birthday cookout, 2-3 years ago, and I wanted to do something just to kind of do something for the brand. Like, yeah, it's my birthday, but it's like a city on my chest theme. So I told all the homies, wear shirts. I got balloons out there that say city on my chest. Kind of just creating, a buzz for the brand. Yeah. So that vision grew as the brand grew. It's like, okay, what happens if I could do like a festival type, pop-up type deal? Yeah. Along with giving, because now I'm a staple in the community and people looking at me, and I have a platform, so now I'm like, how can I use my platform to help other people? So that's what City Fest was really all about, highlighting local entrepreneurs and businesses, just to kind of give them, a place that they can sell to the masses, and at the same time still, generate city on my chest, giving back to the community, helping people, because that's what we on. So I thought it was a win-win situation. And so yeah, I'm very pleased with City Fest and how it turned out.
I just wanted to congratulate you on that. Like, it turned out good. It was a good look for the city.
And I honestly didn't know what to expect. It's
For real?
like you put all this time into it, but you still don't. Like when I woke up that morning, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, people should show up. Like, know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I was definitely nervous, and that's just because when you put your all into something, you want it to go well.
Yeah.
And there's so many outside factors that could kind of bad weather, or little homies come out there wilding out, and
Right.
so many things that could go left, and it's like you just wanted to go smooth.
And it was free.
Yeah, that too.
It was free.
I'm like, yo,
for the money.
I ain't in. I'm just here. I want people to come out, have a good time, because I could have easily got $10 or $20 off people to come.
Yep.
But I'm like, nah, like this is something for the city, it's for the community, it's free. Come out, show love, and get love. So.
Okay. And do you have like an exit strategy for your business, or are we gonna see little Reamon running this in the future?
I don't know. As of right now, no exit strategy.
Okay.
That's definitely something that, mentors and business like, always have an exit strategy planned or be thinking. But right now, I think, the skies is the limit. And I really think that we could one day be like the biggest athleisure brand in the world. So until I reach that point, I can't really have exit because the job ain't done. So.
Hey, fair enough. All right, so I got like a couple little quick questions to end it out. Do you like repeat customers or new customers better? Like which one do you feel like?
I'm 50-50 on that.
50-50?
Because it's like somebody who rock with the brand keep coming by, that's love.
Yeah.
But then still nothing like when somebody find out and they hype about it for the first time. Like, yo, I gotta come shop. So I'm 50-50 on that.
All right, so cash or credit?
Oh, cash.
Cash.
Taxes is real.
Self-finance or credit/loan?
Whatever works best for you. And I'm like, most people ain't gonna have that capital to do it on their own, but if you can find a way to build it up, do it. Especially when it comes to like selling a percentage of your company at an early.
Right.
Like, man, I'd be pissed if I took in $200,000 from somebody and gave them 25% of the company just because I ain't have it.
That's where it's at now.
Yeah, and then it blows up, and it's like, nah. I'm like, damn, we could do this on our own. So I mean, if you can do it on your own, definitely. But I understand that that's part of business sometimes, where you gotta get, that capital.
Because some people would say like, just take 3 years and save up your money and then start. Like 3 years, you could miss your window of opportunity. So it's like you said, whatever works best for you, depending on what type of business you start. All right, so money or respect?
Respect.
In person or online doing business?
In person.
You get a better feeling when you open the store or close the store for the day?
Opening, because I always feel like you don't know what to expect, and lives will be changed today, and it's kind of like you just looking forward to it. Like somebody gonna come through this door and we're gonna change their, we're gonna change their life as far as just positivity and perception of what we represent.
And the last one, what would make you feel better, buying or selling?
Selling. Because to this day, it's still some days I be like, damn, people really out here like buying the brand. Like this idea I had in my head, or I walk past somebody that I don't even know if they got it, who bought it, they got it from here, they ordered it, where they got it from. Early on, I used to be able to keep up with like things I sold because it won't happen so frequent. But now I see somebody that I don't even know rocking it, and they might not even know who I am. But the fact that they bought it and they wearing it, I mean, it's no feeling. It's no feeling. It never gets old. Like, it never gets old.
Like spending money give you this good feeling, but actually selling something, especially something that you created.
Yeah, like this really was an idea in your head, and you made it to fruition, and people out here spending their hard-earned money to buy it. Yeah, that's priceless.
And you got anything for the future you want to give away now, or are we gonna keep it a lot tight?
I mean, I always got, you know, what's next kind of brewing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna do my football camp this spring, and probably a fashion show as well this spring.
You got any details you want to put out there on that yet, or it's still in the works?
It's still in the works, but just the basics of, you know, it's gonna be for all kids.
Okay.
Probably like 6 to high school seniors. I'm gonna do my best to make it free as well.
Okay.
But I want to provide some things that, you know, and give away a lot of merch, and sometimes, you know, sometimes it may have to be a small cost on it. But I'm gonna do my best to make it free. And then with the fashion show, I just want to highlight local brands. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you got a brand and you pushing it and you want to get it in the show, so you can rock the runway and then have a table vending that people see it and want to go buy it, I think that would be dope as well.
All right. Well, man, I appreciate you taking the time out. I know you're busy. Thank you for giving me this interview and this opportunity, man. Hopefully you got nothing but success. And 10 years, 20 years from now, you know what I'm saying, you up here with Nike, I'm buying stock in the city on my chest.
Yeah, I like the way that sounds. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you for having me.